Hey, wise. Good evening. Y'all like, Coach, what is you doing? Listen, okay? This is not my normal night, but I thought I'd just come in real fast and speak to y'all. I want to share something with you. I had an interview today, and I want to talk about it a little bit. They asked you these questions that I haven't really took the time to really answer. But I thought I'd come on and share it with you while I'm doing my little self-care treatment. My esthetician tell me I'm supposed to do this stuff like twice a week. I don't. And the reason I don't like the way it make my face, get all kind of like dry and stuff. Now, the other stuff, I actually do like the avocado one. And then there's this CERM one. Like, I like those. But this one here, it does something to me. But I'm going to put something on while I'm talking to y'all. So listen, I had an interview with, I'm not going to say the name of the people or whatever, but they interview coaches and things like that. And they send you these questions. They send you these questions ahead of time. And sometimes, they tell you to go through the questions and, go through the ones that you want them to ask you, or the ones you don't really feel comfortable answering, that type of thing. And so one of the questions was like, how did you get into this coaching industry? Like, how did you get to this place or whatever? And I said, you know what? I don't think I've ever really took the time out and really, share that story really. I mean, I know one because of me being married. That's first, okay. But not only just my marriage is what got me to this place. Like, my marriage was a huge part of it because that's where I had the most experience. I shared with you guys before, my background is the church. I worked in the marriage ministry. I worked with the marriage couples. But when I really looked into the question a little bit more, it made me think a little bit deeper. Like, growing up, Coach T was different, y'all, okay? Y'all probably know that already, okay? Listen, Coach T was different. And so I used to dress up in like my mama, high heels and her clothes and stuff. And I would sit, my daddy had me a really nice, like, pink desk. And I used to put on my mama's shoes and some of her clothes, and I would have my little folders, like, lined up, because I always wanted to be a teacher. Like, I thought that was what I was going to be. And then I said, if I wasn't going to be a teacher, I was going to be doing something like in a lawyer's office. I was going to be some type of, consultant. Like, I was going to be doing something where I'm like interviewing, people and asking them questions. Like, I always knew I was going to do that. But then I thought a little bit deeper and said, even with marriage is something that always, this how I'm not supposed to be doing this, was something that always kind of like stood out for me. I remember growing up, and I think I've shared this story before, like, I would always remember being in church and hearing the pastor talk about, pray for your marriage. Look at this. This stuff is real thick here, honey. The pastor would always say, pray for your marriage, that type of thing or whatever. And so I remember just always hearing about marriage stuff growing up, and it always kind of like stuck with me. And I always said, I was going to be, somebody teacher, interviewing somebody, talking to people, ask them questions, ask them about their life type of thing or whatever. And so I say all that to say, because the questions were very interesting or whatever. So they was like, how do you got into this industry, like what led to, to get to this place or whatever. And like I said, originally, of course, it was my marriage. But when I think back over my life, come on, Jesus. When I think back over my life, it's like, I really have been, thinking about this and doing this really my whole life. Like, this is something I always wanted to do. But it wasn't until I got married. It wasn't until I got married and started to go through some of the things I was going through. And one of the things that was so healthy for me, healthy. One of the things that was so healthy for me, not healthy, was, the way I thought, like, everybody's supposed to think like me. Everybody's supposed to do what I do. Everybody was raised the way I was raised. That was a a huge eye opener, right? It was a huge eye opener. And I just remember just, coming into my marriage with that type of attitude, like, oh, this gonna be, cakewalk over here, honey. I had no idea that my behavior and my ways and the way I thought about things, a lot of those things had to change. I had no idea that some of the ways that I thought and how I thought and seen things was not necessarily always right, and one of the biggest barriers in my marriage was my mindset, like really, really my mindset. And so it's like, you cannot talk about mental health or emotional health without talking about behavior health. It's like you just cannot not talk about it. And that was one of the biggest things for me on in my journey. I thought it was okay to put your hands on people. My husband showed me really, really fast that was not going to work for us. That wasn't going to work for us. I thought it was okay for me to talk to him, certain type of ways. That didn't work out. And then I did not realize the some of the commonalities that my husband and my father had. I didn't really get into that until like after my father had passed away. And it wasn't until after my father passed away that I realized, like, man, they had a lot of things like, in common or whatever. And so when I thought about all that and like putting it all together, it's like, man, it makes so much sense now. Like, I need help. And listen, most wives do, because you come on this journey like, I can do this. Like, this is what we do. It's going to be my way. And you have no idea what life is going to bring or what life is going to throw at you. But I am so, so grateful for my journey. And I'm so thankful for the things that I went through and the things that I learned on my journey. It has really, really been one of the hardest, but one of the greatest things of my life, like the experience. And of course, like people say, like, you really like that, you can say that out your mouth. I can say that now. I probably wasn't gonna say it back then, but I can say it now because I see, the transformation. I see what God was doing. I see how God was using certain things. I even, like I said, going back to just my childhood, how, God was preparing me for such a time as this. Come on, Jesus, and preparing me for, to be a help. See how my face drying up, y'all? See this forward? How he was preparing me for such a time as this, and how he was preparing me for, this type of assignment. I had no idea. And so I just want to share that with y'all. Like, I thought that was really, really like dope how, sometimes we can dig down into our story and really, really see where we come from. And sometimes just having that time of reflecting and just having that time of, reminiscing and going back to like, where this all started from or whatever. And I was like, it's been in my bloodline like forever. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I was born for this. Like, I was born to be somebody's coach. Come on, Jesus. And the Lord just used my marriage to get me here. And that was one of the biggest things that I had to change in my marriage, was my mindset, was my behavior, was the way I seen things, was how I looked at things, my perspective, my eyes. I was completely blinded by a lot of things. I was deceived about a lot of things. Because like I said, early on in my marriage, I was a church, I grew up a church girl anyways, but really, really got into church, like, in the beginning, of my marriage, was I seen how this thing here, like, somebody didn't tell me, like, I done signed up for the wrong doggone contract. No, I'm playing. Marriage is not about a contract, Jesus. It is all covenant. But I said it to say, the Lord had been prepping me and preparing me for this journey for a long time. And I had no idea. And just the things that I went through, now I'm able to coach and teach other wives, about the same types of things or whatever, So it really does start with the way you think and how you see things. And those things can be barriers in your marriage. And those are things that you really need to look at. I never looked at myself as a person who had like low self-esteem, but baby, let me tell you something. Coach T had horrible hair, okay? I had horrible hair. Let me tell you this, I'm gonna let y'all go. And I would get so upset. This is what made me work 2 jobs in high school, okay? I would get so upset with my mom and my dad because they didn't have the money for me to get my hair did. And so in order for me to have like a nice hairdo or, you know, have my hair looking halfway like something or whatever, I had to pay for it myself out of pocket. Baby, that was my motivation, okay? So no, I didn't have low self-esteem or, you know, lack self-confidence or anything like that, but my hair used to make me mad. It was just not, it just never did. It's still sometimes, it don't really do right all the time sometimes now, but it's much better because I can pay for it and get it done now, praise Jesus. Back then it was a struggle. And so that was really my motivation, you know. And so I learned at a young age how to, you know, motivate myself, how to, you know, build my confidence up, how to, you know, self-talk to myself. You know, I've been talking to myself my whole life. So I learned that at a very, very young age about doing stuff like that and the importance of how it made you feel. Because when my hair wasn't did, I didn't feel myself. I didn't feel good about that. But when I had my hair done, baby, you couldn't tell me nothing, okay? You couldn't tell me nothing. I was that girl, hands down. So it makes a difference. And all that comes back to self-caring. All that comes back to prioritizing yourself. All that comes back to taking care of yourself and making sure that you are aware of yourself. Making sure you are aware of the things that you need. Making sure you are aware of what works for you, okay? I've been doing this thing my whole life, okay? That's what it comes down to. You know, self-care has been, you know, something I've been doing my entire life. Coaching is something I have been doing, you know, my entire life. And I had no idea that the Lord was going to use my marriage to get me to this place, but he did. And so I just share that story to be like, you know, encourage wise. Like it really does make a difference. Like, you know, you're not out here on this journey just for nothing. Like you out here for a reason. It's a reason why God have you in this place. Whether you're going to be a coach, whether you're going to be a minister, whether you're going to be helping somebody, you know, in another place of your life, God has you on this assignment for a specific reason. And so it's so good for wives to reflect. It's so good for wives to, you know, sit down and prioritize themselves and really, you know, look over their lives and really figure out, you're like, why am I here? Like, what is this, God? What is going on? And listen, Coach T want to help you, all right? So if you have not signed up for your consultation, I want to encourage you to sign up. Sign up for your consultation at www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. and sign up for your consultation so we can get your bounce back, all right? We can get your bounce back. Listen, I'm going to see y'all on Saturday. I got something up my sleeve for y'all on Saturday, all right? I'll talk to you then. Blessings.